This show has like a refreshing mix of racial diversity, queer representation. It's all going out to a global audience. Do you feel the responsibility that comes with the show, or at least the shifting of perspectives that could happen after watching a show like this?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I love the show for that reason alone. And even before I was a part, when I saw the breakdown for the show and they were like, we're casting for these roles, and they had a brief description of the main characters, I already could tell this is going to be such a refreshing show with such diversity. And I was really excited that a show like this was going to be made. And this was like whether I was in it or not, right? And you know, as a Korean who grew up in other parts of the world, but also I'm very aware of where Korea is in terms of its openness to diversity or its progress in its history of diversity and inclusion. I do think that it meant something for me as well in the sense that this is an American production, but it was shot in Korea. It's the backdrop is Korea. A lot of the actors are Korean and otherwise, but it also meant something to me in the sense that I do think that all artists have like a responsibility somewhat, maybe not everyone will agree, but to whether that's provoking or like just instigating some sort of conversation or change, or just plain making someone feel something, even if that's like anger or something negative maybe. But I did feel that it was meaningful because of that and the conversations that it'll hopefully start in places like Korea where it's set, because I think that Korea definitely still has a way to go when it comes to inclusivity and the queer community being openly welcomed in every sphere and pocket of the society. And so yeah, it's been a really, so in many aspects, it's been a very big pleasure, to say the least, to be a part of a show like Exo Kitty.
The show is very important for many, 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 many reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
yeah.
the response been in Korea to the show?
You know what? I do think that they are very intrigued by the show because they're like, oh, it's an American show that highlights all these Korean places and people, and they have these Korean actors. So even if maybe, I don't know exactly statistically how well it did compared to other countries, but they definitely know of the show even if they hadn't watched it, just because, you know, when you hear, oh, Korea is being represented somewhere by another country, then they'll always like tune into that. But I do think that the lack of negative response is like already a good thing.
That's a
you know, I'm sure that they're like, oh, some of this is not accurate because it's an international school and that's not representative of every Korean, obviously. But I already take that as a big sign that there was no pushback against it for the queer love lines or something like that. You know, and Koreans are intrigued by it more than anything else. So yeah.